How's my audio here right there?
It's great.
Am I okay?
Yeah, you're fine. You're just gonna keep your notepad down.
I'm going to be still right here. All right. Just you might want to move over a little bit so you can wave at me when you tell me what time's going on here. Ready?
We're doing it.
Okay. Has your acting career always been as happy for you as it is right now?
It's been a steady growth, Jimmy. It's been a constant understanding and movement forward. So it's been very exciting for the last, especially the last 10 years. It's been 78 since Zootsuit, when I did it in LA and then went on to Broadway to do it and then the film. And for the last 10 years, it's been quite a ride.
It's hard to plan, I'm sure, an acting career, but did you have any idea, say 15 years ago, that you'd be sitting here today with a hit movie, a hit television show, and a hit movie recently on NBC? I mean, that's a lot of stuff.
It is a lot of work. No, there's no way you can gear that kind of a game plan. All you can do is just continue to do work that makes you grow as a craftsperson in hopes that people will use you. But being able to forecast this kind of behavior on behalf of the system, no.
Have you changed a lot personally, say, in the last 5 years? I'm sure
yeah.
you have a lot more confidence.
Yeah, that's what happens. You get confidence, and you can either use it to booster an ego or to calm down. I've relaxed an awful lot. It's wonderful.
One thing I noticed that's wonderful about you, that I see you a lot on fundraising type things and charities, and I see you for public service announcements and that kind of thing. You seem to be using your fame in a positive way. What is there about you that's in your spirit that really makes you want to do that?
It's pretty basic. The more you give, the more you receive. I've received an awful lot. The more I give, the more I receive. In that way, it works. I highly recommend people to feed their soul, and it's a form of saying thank you to people, using your energy in a positive way. But the returns are more overwhelming than you'll ever anticipate. Long before I was in the public eye, I was working inside of this concept of the more you give, the more you receive. And it worked then, and that's one of my reasons for being the way that I am today, in today's times.
Well, this movie you have out now certainly is a very special movie. I mean, it's rare and it doesn't have violence, doesn't have a lot of doesn't have any sexual situations in it. It's uplifting. It's very different. I can't believe that Hollywood really wanted to jump and run and make this film.
Well, they didn't. They really didn't. This was a film that was gotten together by independent means. Myself and the director/writer and the producer/writer and myself, actor/producer, got together and really believed in the quality of the story. We were talking about story before we went on the air. And story is everything. This is one of the most unusual stories I've ever had a privilege of being a part of. And not only is it a different kind of story, it's funny. It's heartwarming and funny. And most people won't recognize me because of the way that I look in the movie, but it's basically a comedy that leads you into a tremendous conflict that ends up being a triumph of not only of inspiration and spirit, but of magnitudes that makes people stand up and cheer the screen.
You play a math teacher. Did you ever have a math teacher or any other kind of teacher that ever helped you out and left a mark on your life?
I think all teachers have left a mark on my life. Some good, some bad. But they've all left a mark because you sit there and you listen to them. But I think that in this case, I've never quite experienced anyone like the person that comes out, Jaime Escalante, in this movie. He's the most unorthodox behaved person in real life, and you see it in the film, that I've ever been around. And it's just an endearing man with an endearing manner about him, and he's able to allow you to see it. And I'm really glad he's around. He's inspired me to to continue with a positive thought towards the future, even though we're 1 out of every 3 students is not graduating from high school. And we have a tremendous illiteracy rate in this country.
How is he reacting to all the fame that's coming up with this, and there'll be a lot more?
Yeah, as the film's been breaking out, I don't know if you know, but we went right through the roof in 2 markets already. In Los Angeles, we opened first, then New York, and now we're going national with it. And in New York and LA, it's went right through the roof. And he's been inundated with phone calls and attention, and he kind of understands that that was going to happen, though. He's pretty calculated, to say the least.
Yeah.
And he kind of like structured this. He actually had this game plan pretty well thought out. He knows what exactly the course of this will be and what the outcome is, and he can figure out mathematically using his structure to know exactly what will happen in the future.
People who know math scare me anyway. I'll be the
Yep,
first to tell you.
I'll be the second to agree with you.
There's a lot of talk in advance, and I'm sure that it makes you uncomfortable, but let's go ahead and talk about it now, since we probably won't meet again before it happens. They're talking Oscar talk for you in recognition, because this is a part that is uplifting and it is meaningful. When you hear that kind of thing, what does it mean to you? I mean, you won an Emmy, you've won a Golden Globe. Do those kind of things have any effect on you?
I've won the highest acclamation in every aspect of my field of endeavor, you know, in respects to that, and that's always hit me by surprise. It's a wonderful thing when it happens to you. You don't look for it. When it comes to you, you must be grateful, and it humbles you. It humbled me to the point of no return when I got the Emmy. When I got the Golden Globe, I didn't know what to say. What do you say? You know, I mean, it's enough that it's a privilege to be in this business. Then they turn around and they allow you to work. Then they turn around, they pay you for doing something you want to do, and then they give you their highest, you know, award possible for doing your work. So I'm pretty, you know, I'm very thankful for being a part of this business, and I'm even more thankful for the recognition that I've received, and it always hasn't been this way. Yeah. I mean, this is 10 years that the positive input has been put into my career. Before that, the 19-odd years before that, I started in music.
Eddie in the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, and one of my friends lives in Nashville, one of my closest, dearest friends, Tony. Tony C. He's hopefully watching this program.
Let's talk about Miami Vice a little bit. It is and has been one of my favorite shows for a long time. It's been like a roller coaster ride. It took off and made every cover of every magazine, and then it kind of almost went out of sight in the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking earlier, is it writing that really did that, or was it overexposed?
I think it's both, but basically writing. I think that story is the number one thing that in any of this medium, whether it be theater, whether it be a song, whether it be a motion picture or a television series, it's always story. If you got a good story going along, you'll listen to it, you'll watch it. But if it doesn't, then you know, you can color it with as much beautiful music as you want to, or as many beautiful production values, and you're not going to sit around and take it for too long. And that's what it's been. It's inconsistency of story is what will be the deciding factor on this production, because the production value is exquisite. It's the highest on television.
Did you feel the overexposure, personally?
The overexposure came, I think, as it dissipates the integrity of the value of the piece. It's like almost saying to the piece, it's not that good, so how can, you know, we're going to have to hype it. I thought that it was overexposed the first year. There was such a clamor to make sure that everybody knew it was there and try to make it a big thing that they blew it up, and pretty soon it wasn't a discovery, it was more of a let me tell you about this. And I think it's got to be a discovery process, and that way people marry it and really enjoy it. That's what happened to Hill Street Blues, that's what happened to some of the great shows, St. Elsewhere, Cagney and Lacey. You know, it's found and then brought forward, it's not hyped into existence. And I thought that that was the wrong way to take that show.
Why have they not let your character grow? They started to. You directed a show. You were the featured character in one of the series called Bushido. Why have they not let the other characters grow? They started to, then they pulled back.
Well, they really was never structured that way. It was never structured in a way. It was more structured like I Spy.
It was never meant to be an ensemble cast.
Exactly. Exactly. It was meant to be totally a two-person show, and it turned into a one-person show, and which is okay. I mean, that's how they had it in their minds, and that's what they've done. It has brought a tremendous cry from the public for a more of an ensemble approach because they enjoy the other characters, but basically the writers and the producers have refused to really take that into consideration and have consistently gone on to write it as a one-person show.
But Castillo's got to be one of the more, he's an evil-looking guy in the first place because he's a mystery. How do you see him? A lonely man still?
Yeah, he's pretty much the loneliest man on television. He's so lonely that people are really worried about him. They would like him to smile and laugh. And,
I bet there's some great bloopers in this show when you occasionally
Actually,
smile as Castillo or something.
Actually, there aren't that many. They've tried to make them. They actually go out of their way to try to make Castillo smile in character. And they've gone through some extraordinary extremes to do it. And it even adds to the humor and the relaxation around the set. It's wonderful.
Well, Ed, congratulations on everything. You've got the world right now, and I hope it continues.
Thank you very much, Jim.
Thank you. All righty. Thank you a lot.
Excellent.